I had no interest in poetry when I left school. At school, everything to do with poetry was all about what the poet thought, or what the poet meant, analysis of the techniques used by the poet. Nobody asked me ever whether I liked the poem, whether I loved the poem, whether I disliked the poem. No one asked me what the poem was in my imagination. Nothing at all about that. And all I was interested in was getting through the exam and which questions were likely to come up. So by the way, for those of you who know him, I skipped Yeats, never opened a Yeats poem at all because I thought that was unlikely. If it came up in the exam, I could get by. I just didn't have to choose Yeats. So I left school, no interest, had nothing to do with poetry for years and years and years, and I thought poets were totally uninteresting people, faffing away, writing sonnets to imaginary people or something like that. And then one day I was getting on a train in Sheffield. I was on the station there, and my very good friend Barry Fletcher gave me a book. He didn't say anything about it, he just gave it to me. It was a very short book about a poet called Wilfred Owen. I didn't know anything about Wilfred Owen. I opened it up and I read one poem in it, and it blew me away, completely out of the water. Dulce et decorum est. The language was so powerful, so scary. It was. I thought, oh my God, if people can write like this. I had written all sorts of things, but I'd never written a poem. Well, I leave out a whole lot of the story. A year later, I went to North Cyprus on a holiday, and I had a go at writing some poems. I'd never been to an English lecture. Nobody had ever shown me how to write a poem. And everything went off from there. So that's how it happened. And there's obviously a lot more to the story than that. But you'll have to come on my write poetry for your life course, and I'll tell you all the rest about it. You're brilliant. You're fabulous. I love the fact that you're here, and I look forward very much to seeing you tomorrow. But please, what I'd love you to do now is to listen to this again and write a poem, a short poem. Just get a bit of paper and write something that even looks like a poem. Doesn't have to be very poetic, doesn't have to rhyme, anything at all. Just write something that looks like a poem. Paul O'Mahony saying goodbye, and thanks a million for being here. See you tomorrow.